Jimmy
respect.
Kimmel
Yeah.
didn't see a problem, okay, with his lie that Charlie Kirk's killer was part of the MAGA gang. Rob, if you can play this clip here, I'm curious to know what Adam has to say about this. Go ahead, Rob.
I think there was a big problem. I just saw it as distortion on the part of some of the right-wing media networks, and I aimed to correct it. I have problems like all the time, and it's kind of funny because sometimes you think, oh, this is not a problem, and then it turns into a big problem, and then sometimes it goes the other way where you think like, oh, this is going to be a problem, and nobody really notices.
And so at what point did you realize this was a problem?
I think when they pulled the show off the air.
That's his first funny joke in years.
And what were the conversations with Dana and Bob that led to that?
I hate to disappoint you, but they were really good conversations.
Yeah, I'm not asking for you to blame anyone.
I mean, really good conversations. They are. These are people that I've known for a long time and who I like very much, and who were, who wanted. We all wanted this to work out best. And I will tell you, first of all, I ruined Dana's weekend. It was just nonstop phone calls all weekend, but I don't think the result, which I think turned out to be very positive, would have been as positive if I hadn't talked to Dana as much as I did, because it helped me think everything through, and it helped me just kind of understand where everyone was.
So what do you think about the whole thing? He came back, record-breaking, most viewership ever, 6.3 million. And then some data has shown the fact that the viewership has dropped even lower to previous to getting fired. Some people are speculating. What do you think about what happened with Jimmy here and him getting fired and then coming back?
I talked to him about it, and his explanation was it's interesting places to tread for me, because my fans get mad when I defend him. He's a friend. Obviously, he helped me. He essentially plucked me. I was working as a boxing coach when I met him, and he pulled me out of that and got me into radio and pretty much made my career. And now I've had a career past him as well. His explanation to me about what he meant was plausible. Like, I know it sounds like he was saying these guys are, what he said about Charlie Kirk, killer, but it's a plausible deniability kind of thing. I don't want to get in all the machinations of it, but he's a guy who's got a motor. He's not unlike Trump. He's not unlike you. He's not unlike me. He's got a motor. Now, the motor goes in directions that we disagree with, but he's a guy with a motor, and he'll fight to defend himself.
Would you say he's a good guy?
Yeah, he is a good guy.
He's a good guy?
Yes, so he's very generous.
What are some things that maybe conservatives who don't know him, who, will easily go after him, what are some things you would say about him that, for conservatives to hear? Good things about Jimmy.
He's incredibly thoughtful, which I'm not. He's super. Your kid's birthday, it's always something, it's always a present showing up for your kids. Very generous, very thoughtful, provides basically work, employs half his family. My daughter worked for his production, worked for Jimmy Kimmel Live for her summer job. Very generous, thoughtful, and a good citizen. Regardless, I sort of explained this at the time on my show, which is it's easy to disagree with people. It's easy to say they're dangerous. I don't like they're dopes or whatever. But he is a genuinely good, thoughtful, and generous person who you disagree with on many subjects.
Have you ever asked him? One of the things I tweeted at him one time, and I tagged him and Bob Iger, Rob, I don't know if you remember that or not. And I said, after he got fired, why don't you, because the ratios of the people that he had, it's pretty much all on the left. He doesn't invite people on the right. I think the last one he's invited that was from the right, which actually ended up being a very good interview, was with Pillow what is it called?
Mike
My
Lindell
Pillow guy.
from
Mike
My
Lindell,
Pillow.
yeah.
Mike Lindell.
And I said, Rob, I just sent it to you, Rob, if you want to pull it up. I said, hey, Jimmy, I watched your show late night, last night, and appreciate you addressing the audience. Here's my challenge to you and Bob Iger. Why not invite Erica Kirk on the show? Why not invite conservatives on the show? Why not invite some people on the right? Why does he not at least invite some people from the opposing side and giving them a chance on what they have to say? Have you ever brought that up to him?
No, I don't talk politics with him. No, because it's like you want to ruin the Thanksgiving by getting into it with your, daughter's friend or something at Thanksgiving. It's like it was never part of our relationship, politics. It was comedy and it was friendship. And that's what it is now. And it wasn't something that we stopped talking about because we never started talking about it. And, I think things change in his job and my job, and there is more political talk. But I think we're making a mistake when we go, we're going to sit down and have dinner, and we have to talk about this stuff that's going to ruin the dinner, essentially.
You think that's a mistake?
I think it's a mistake. I don't think this is a mistake. I don't think what he's doing is a mistake. I'm saying when this is done and the cameras shut down and the lights get turned off and now we're going out for a beer, I don't see why you have to keep getting into this stuff.
Do you talk to him as a comedian? Because hear me out. I actually have massive respect for you because you guys have gone completely opposite ways ideologically, politically, yet you're still respectful and you're still his friend. And I have a lot of friends that are super liberal, even super conservative, and those are my friends, and I'm a pretty loyal dude, and I'm sticking with them. But as a comedian, forget about politics. Can't you say, listen, bro, you're just not funny anymore. The misdirection, everyone knows where the joke is going. Look, he just came back on air, Rob, if you pull this up. He just posted his first monthly ratings win in the entire series history, meaning he hasn't been funny or first place ever.
But it dropped right
But now, because Charlie Kirk, and he came back on the air, now he's trending upward. So at any point, do you say, listen, bro, as a comedian, maybe you kind of bring it back towards the middle? You do anything? Did you talk to him about Charlie Kirk at all? Anything?
No. The thing about comedians is they have what they want to say. Some you agree with, some you think's funny, some you don't think it's funny. I don't get into the game where if I disagree with someone, I go, they're not funny. There's such a thing as agreeing, like, Bill Maher's a skilled guy, and he is funny. And I do disagree with a lot of the stuff he says, but I don't go, he's not funny. It's the same thing I don't like when people go, that guy's dumb, man. That guy's such an idiot. It's like, he's a lawyer and he's a physician, and you disagree with the guy, but he's not
But isn't
he's
it
not
a challenge
dumb.
to live in an echo chamber? Like Vinny and I might disagree. But how much time do we consult with? Hey, Vinny, what do you think about this? What do you think? We don't agree on everything, but we constructively consult with each other to bring the best out of us. Couldn't that work with you guys?
I understand. I actually don't want to push on this topic anymore because
Okay.
I think he gave his position, and I
That's
get it.
fine. Yeah.
To me, the honor goes to Adam here, Carolla, because he's saying he brought me out. I used to be a boxing coach, and he brought me out, and then I got my fame there, and then later on I took it and did it myself. I don't know. Whether you like him or not, I don't even know what the comment section is saying. You have to freaking like the guy that's giving credit to the person that kickstarted him at a point that maybe things weren't going the way he was going, and then now he's a household name. I remember the first time I was on your show, I don't know how many years ago that was, but I was on your show and we talked about what kind of money you started making. I think you said in your third or fourth, I don't know what it was, when you said, I really started making money. We were in your studio and we were talking about that. And, respect to you for doing that. I actually appreciate what you're saying, and you give him credit.
Yeah,
Vinny, I think you wanna say
I
something.
100% Adam. I'd be in the same position as was Cool Adam? Was it Cool Adam?
Good
That's
Adam.
cool. Adam.
I got you. Good Adam.
Rich Adam, cool Adam, great
my
looking
thing is-
Adam.
And Adam, you made a point where the numbers went up for that one episode, but then it dropped
For the month,
completely.
for the month, yeah.
So, yeah, but just in general, it's just I'm always curious, and this isn't even a question. I'm just curious, like, do you really have these point of views, or is it because the network's having you do it? Because just recently, Rob, can you just do this? Like, you would think after the Charlie Kirk thing, and by the way, he said, and I quote, we hit some new lows over the weekend. This is when Charlie was killed, with the MAGA gang desperately trying to characterize the kid who murdered Charlie Kirk as anything other than one of them, which you cannot, like, that is basically trying to say, without knowing any facts, that somebody on the MAGA side murdered Charlie, which is wrong. And then, by the way, saying that free speech, Nobody said free speech. It's about your numbers. The numbers prove of what's happening with the actual program. But then you would think that he would change tunes. This is him saying basically Antifa doesn't exist, and then I'll show a clip of how all the networks are saying it. Go ahead, Rob, play this.
You understand? There's no Antifa. This is an entirely imaginary organization. There is not an Antifa.
Yes, there
This
is.
is no different than if they announced they rounded up a dozen Decepticons. We've captured the Chupacabra, everyone. And then it was Trump's turn to ratchet up the rhetoric with fiery images conjured from no one has any idea where.
So number one, Antifa exists. If you even went on ABC's search engine on their website, put Antifa. There's so many articles saying Antifa. There's a freaking handbook, the Antifa handbook for fascists. So I'm just boggled. My mind goes crazy because I'm like, you just learned a lesson. You'd think that you learned a lesson, but no, you doubled down. And then Rob, can you just show the talking point because the email went out for everybody? This is, mind you, now they haven't burned down the city during BLM and all that stuff. They weren't punching people in the face, burning down cities. You know the email went out because this is every network parroting exactly what he said.
There's no Antifa. This is an entirely imaginary organization. There is not an Antifa.
Like, I don't even know what Antifa is. There is no group.
It's not even like far-right groups like the Proud Boys and Oath Keepers. Compared to right-wing extremists, Antifa-linked violence is rare and limited.
It isn't an organization. It is a in many ways mythology.
It's not like the Proud Boys or the Oath Keepers, sort of defined terrorist organizations with leadership that leads violence.
It's not a highly organized movement. It's a moniker. It's not a unified group like the Proud Boys are. Things like Antifa are things that are thought up.
It's all in this guise of going after Antifa, which is nothing. There's no organization called Antifa. Nobody's a member of Antifa.
You can stop it. So that's my point. Is like, what you're going to go up there and say something that you know is false. You know the Charlie Kirk thing was a lie. You know the Antifa thing is a lie. Like, Antifa's, they're 100% out there. So I just don't understand why take that position and why go there. That's one of the reasons I'm just so confused. But then you go back to the numbers, and Tom, what does that say? Words talk, numbers scream, and the numbers are screaming louder and louder every day as the numbers drop.
Yeah, well, can we just say one thing more than anything? I think tomorrow is Charlie Kirk's birthday. I think he would have been 32. Yep. Is that right? So at the very least, he allowed us to have open debate and conversation. And I think tomorrow is going to be a very, very big day in his honor.
Yeah. I don't, as far as like Antifa and talking points and what they believe and what they don't believe, you can see the same people 5 years ago going, this thing was not a lab leak. It came from a wet market. Okay, what do you know? What do you know? Do you know this? Because I don't think you know it or you don't know it. It's not, I mean, this is noble, but what I'm saying is they'll get on to something and then they just parrot it and then they just echo it and that's what it is.
Do you
it's
think
like
they
the lab
believe
leak.
that? Or is that just something that...
I don't know. I have no idea. It's a weird thing where you kind of go, do they believe? Yeah. I believe Jimmy believes whatever Jimmy says. He and this thing of like, well, say this or don't say that. I think there's a lot. People have said to me in the other direction. They've said to me, does Tucker Carlson or does Dennis Prager or does anybody who ain't Ben Shapiro, they don't really believe. I go, they absolutely believe it. Yes, they believe it. Now, you can disagree with them or you can believe it too, or you can know something else, but they believe it. I don't question everyone's sincerity that much. I think they do.
Do you ever watch The Daily Show?
Yes,
with Jon Stewart? You ever done anything with Jon Stewart?
I've done The Daily Show, times. John is reclusive, kind of. He's a nice guy. He and I get along, personally pretty well. It's interesting because I think when you disagree with someone as much as you might disagree with Jon Stewart or Jimmy Kimmel, it's an easy trap to just go bad guy because that makes you then de facto a good guy for believing what you believe. I think what we need to get in our head is people can have thoughts that you vehemently disagree with, and they can still be good people.
Yep.
And I wish the other side would do that.
That's the problem,
because
is
then
that
you wouldn't be Hitler.
They villainize the other side.
Yeah,
Well, I
exactly.
think John is an incredible voice. I think he's super necessary. I think you might be wrong on some issues, but super talented. The reason I bring that up is he has a roster on his show, a handful of people. One guy is a young, talented black guy, super funny, super hilarious guy, but he did a whole episode on how Antifa just doesn't exist. They don't even have a website. Antifa doesn't even have a website. And he just went down this whole list and then basically tried to like pull the rug out of Trump doing this deal. And the reason I bring that up is forget about what they're saying. The entire audience is just buying everything they're selling. And that's the problem. You talked about whether the Hillary Clinton's lying, whoever it is, but then you have the 19-year-old vaping in the basement that believes everything they say. These people have a responsibility to tell the truth a lot of times on the left and the right, and they're just spewing nonsense a lot of time. I think that's my problem.
Jerry Nadler started the whole Antifa as just an idea thing.
Jerry
wasn't
Nadler.
That Nadler? Do you
I think
guys
that was the
remember that?
Penguin.
Do you remember that?
How long
clip?
ago was that?
Nadler got stopped walking
5 years ago.
Yep.
5 years ago, and someone went like, "Hey, what about Antifa?" And
Show
he's like,
Jerry Nadler, if you don't mind.
Antifa's a myth.
Hunk of a man.
Yeah, it's a myth.
He said this. Yeah, he said this 5 years ago. He said, I don't know if you guys remember that.
Well, that was during the election when there was George Floyd on one side and those protests, and
Right.
obviously Antifa.
I found
shot.
the clip, Rob. I just sent it to you
He
if you want
got
to play it.
stopped walking in front of the Capitol or whatever, and he
Yeah,
gave
you have it
the-
right there. You have it right
he
there.
gave the
Just-
super
Scroll down.
dismissive.
His outfit is the
Violence
best.
across the whole country. Do you disavow the violence from Antifa? That's happening in Portland right now. There's riots
That's a myth that's being spread only in Washington, D.C.
about Antifa in Portland.
Yes. it
Sir,
doesn't-
there's videos
false
everywhere
narratives.
online. There's fires and riots. They're throwing fireworks at federal officers. DHS is there. Look online.
Bro.
It gets crazy, Mr. Nadler.
Yeah,
It's
so
so out of touch.
He said 5 years ago it was a myth.
That is the definition
can I
of
ask you
rage
guys a
baiting.
question? Let me ask you a question. What's your outcome of saying Antifa doesn't exist? Who are you trying to take credibility away from? Like what are you trying to do?
I think it's because Trump has designated them
Yeah.
a terror organization. If you say they don't exist, then you could still, whoever's funding them, keep paying for it. Like whoever these NGOs, and I don't want to say any names, the higher up said, that means, no, they don't even exist. They're not a terror organization. You keep funding them because that's the opposition. That's what the left does when they can't argue. They send out the freaking text in the email. They say, hey, put your stupid mask on and get your ass out there, Todd.
Right-wing conspiracy.
Find the clip. You can find the clip of Gavin Newsom up on stage going, border. I don't want to hear anything about a border. That's just, that never, we don't have any border problem. Like, why did the border problem not exist?
Yeah, because they said there was nothing wrong with it. Was this it?
Well, there's a, I think there's a clip of him sort of saying that it's a,
I found it, Rob. I'll send it to you.
yeah, it's a red herring or something like. So
He said there's no border crisis.
there is no, there's no border crisis.
Yeah.
Like but they bring it up in a way like you're the crazy one for thinking something that exists.
Yeah, I mean, look, the question is, does that work? Because go ahead and play this clip, and then we'll get into it.
Prepared to call this what this is, which is a theater of the absurd. California is prepared to continue to remind the American people this is a manufactured crisis. Border crossings up to 2017 were at the lowest level since 1971. The reality is, at ports of entry, most of these drugs are seized, and California is prepared
this
to
isn't
work
the
with
one
the
I was looking
administration,
for,
but
but
not on
it
a
doesn't
monument to
matter. They
stupidity.
just denied the border. They can deny anything that's happening.
What does he say in 24, though, Rob? I'm curious. Does he change his position?
I want to hear this.
Go ahead.
We're back down here at the border, Tijuana, right behind me, San Diego sector. This is the San Ysidro port of entry. We're just down here with the National Guard, meeting with customs agents as well as Border Patrol, talking about our partnerships. 390 National Guards men and women that have been working, particularly as it relates to fentanyl here in the state of California. Look at the bottom line. At the end of the day, they need more resources. Everybody needs more resources.
Now they need
And
resources.
The Republican Party has been consistently standing in the way of providing the resources, the support for the men and women working hard.
All right,
So he sent you resources, and then he's
Make up your
authoritarian
mind.
for
Yeah.
doing it.
But where I was going with this is when you see these types of things, there's a reason why it's lowest number of people trusting the mainstream media.
Exactly.
Vinny talked about this last week. Is it a surprise? They're gonna trust you less and less and less and less. It's not gonna get any worse than what it is right now. No matter how much more they push these things, it makes their argument weaker. Every time we do the Vol conference, if you've attended, you know this. I stand up and I speak for probably 45 hours is what I do at the Vol conference. And I love it. I love being around the guys. I love it. But I wear the Ferragamo shoes when I do this. Or I wear some kind of dress shoes. Eventually, for the last 25 years, I've always been on stage walking. I'm like, you know what? I'm sick and tired of it. I want a shoe that I'm comfortable wearing. And here's what I love. I don't like shoes that are so heavy. That's a dumbbell. You can use it as a weapon. I don't want that. Like the Xenia, you carry it. I have so many of them, but they're so heavy. Like you can literally curl the Xenia, the shoes, and you'll get a pump within 30 reps. And I wanted the combination of the Hoka, the On Cloud, the Super Foam, because there's a big thing going on right now with the Super Foam where the bottom of the shoe, you wear it. You know which ones I'm talking about, the On Cloud or the Hokas, right? They're so comfortable. And I said, what if we take luxury and then combine it with the super comfort? What would that look like? And let's build it in Italy. So what do? We went to Italy. We designed the shoe in Florida. We made the shoe in Italy in five of the factories. We went back and forth God knows how many times. And by the way, the shoes we're about to launch and introduce to you right now, where you're going to see the video for the first time, I've been wearing those shoes for the last 22 days straight. I'm wearing them right now. I literally wear it with suits. I wore it yesterday when we went to lunch. I wear it every single day. It's the most comfortable shoes I have, yet it's authentic Italian leather. Rob, if you don't mind playing the video, go for it. Here's the video of the latest shoe, the FLBs. When we set out to create a shoe that blends comfort, function, and luxury, we had the choice to make it fast. We had the choice to make it cheap. We chose neither. Instead, we chose Tuscany, Italy. We chose true Italian craftsmanship, each pair touched by 50 skilled hands. We chose patience, spending 2 years perfecting every detail, and we chose the finest quality at every step. Introducing the Future Looks Bright collection. Not rushed, not disposable, not ordinary. Rather, intentional, luxurious, timeless.
Boom.
There you go. Designed in Florida, 100% made in Italy. 50 hands touch each shoe that was made. And here's what's unique about it. I want to kind of show this to everybody that knows this. And I've worn pretty much every one of these shoes. So if you compare this, the Italian leather, of course, it's made in Italy. It's not assembled, made in China, assembled in Italy, 100% made in Italy, assembled in Italy. It's FLBs, Berlutis, which are $1,840, Ferragamos are $895, Xenias are $1,190, and Gucci's are $950. Leather premium lining, all of them except for Gucci. Laceless feature, it's the FLBs, the Berlutis, you have laces, Ferragamos laceless, and then you have also the Xenias, and then the Gucci's have the laces. I don't want to wake up in the morning, put laces on. I want to get out the house. Took me 3 seconds to put my shoes on today. Craftsman, 5 different Italian factories all made this shoe. Berlutis are the same as us, as well as FLB. But the only shoe, these trainers, the only one in the world today, according to the factories that told me this in Italy, that has the super foam, the only one that has the same super foam used in the On Clouds and the Hokas, it's the FLBs, and they're officially out, and you can place the order. Here's a challenge. We only have 1,000 of these pairs. And when you say 1,000 of these pairs, they start from size, I believe, is it 8? It goes 8, 9, 10, 10 and a half, 11, 11 and a half, 12, 13. Those are the sizes that we have. And the shoes that you can get today, the colors, you have access to, Rob, if you can go back there, you can have access to those browns, which is absolutely beautiful. And by the way, the brown on the bottom, the stitching on the side is a left stitching. If you can change the picture, and on the bottom it says the future looks bright. Look at the white lines on the side. It's beautiful. The only ones we have right now that you can get sent out today are the black and the browns. If you do want the white to pre-order, I would highly recommend you do so. They're going to come out the second week of December. So the white and the navy blue comes out the second week of December. The browns and the blacks are available. If you believe the future looks bright as much as we do, go place the order. There's nothing like sitting in the boardroom with your trainers and you put your feet over your knee and people look at the bottom of your shoe and it says future looks bright. That's how you get deals done. All right, so they're out. I'm excited to announce it, and I'm very happy for people to go sport it. When you get them, take pictures, send it our way. We're going to show all these shoes, all the pictures that are being taken. I already got a bunch of them sent to me on Instagram. Go to vtmerch.com, place your order. It's all over the website. Maybe buy it for your husband, buy it for your brother, buy it for your coworkers, buy it for your best salespeople if you want to let them know the future looks bright. If you enjoyed this video, you want to watch more videos like this, click here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click here.